We're ready to go.
Yeah, there you go.
We're ready to go outside. So welcome to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program, Paul Demain. Many of the stories read here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. Here are the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native American news sources. Observances and ceremonies will be held across the country from June 19th through June 23rd to mark the 2009 National Days of Prayer to protect Native American sacred sites. Some of the gatherings highlighted in this release are educational forums, not religious ceremonies, and are open to the general public. Others are ceremonial and may be conducted in private. Native and non-Native people nationwide gather at this time for solstice ceremonies and to honor sacred places, with a special emphasis on the need for Congress to build a door to the courts for Native nations to protect our traditional churches, said Susan Schoen Harjo. She is the president of the Morning Star Institute, which organizes the National Sacred Places Prayer Days. Many Native American sacred places are being damaged because Native nations do not have equal access under the First Amendment to defend them, said Ms. Harjo. All other peoples in the United States can use the First Amendment to protect their churches, but the Supreme Court closed that door to Native Americans in 1988. Some of those gatherings that will take place include in Arizona for the San Francisco Peaks ceremony on Sunday, June 21st. The San Francisco Peaks are sacred to the Apache, the Hopi, the Halapai, the Navajo, the Avapai, and other Native nations. The San Francisco Peaks are home to many sacred beings, medicine places, and origin sites. The ceremonies are conducted there for healing, well-being, balance, commemoration, passages in the world's water and life cycles. The U.S. Forest Service and private business plan to expand the Snow Bowl ski resort and to use recycled sewage to make artificial snow. The Native nations and environmental organizations opposed those efforts in court, losing a final round in June when the U.S. Supreme Court rejected a petition for review of a pro-development decision. The Native nations now seek administrative and legislative remedies. Ceremonies and gatherings for solstice prayer will take place on June 21st at the San Francisco Peaks. For more information, you're encouraged to contact the offices of those tribes named earlier. In California at Needles on Saturday, June 20th, a sunrise ceremony. The Fort Mojave tribe remains in emergency need for prayer to protect the maize and surrounding sacred areas along the lower Colorado River. The maize is both a physical manifestation and a spiritual pathway for the afterlife. It has always been and will always be an integral and significant part of the Mojave way of life, beliefs, traditions, culture, and religion. The Mojave will observe the prayer day in Needles at the maize property on June 20th and pray for continued guidance, preservation, and national support to defend this sacred area. You can contact Mark Franco of the Winnemen-Wintu Headmen at mark@winnemenwintu.us. For those people that know him, they can give him a ring and find out what's going on. Colorado, at Boulder, Colorado, Native American Rights Fund, the National Day of Prayer to protect Native American sacred places was observed today on Friday, June 19th there. Just a note that they had a ceremony earlier today. Lawrence, Kansas, at the Wakarusa Wetlands, ceremony being held there on Sunday, June 21st at noon. In case of severe weather, that ceremony will be held on Monday, June 22nd at noon. The Haskell Wetland Preservation Organization and Save the Wakarusa Wetlands will observe National Prayer Day at noon on Sunday, June 21st, besides the wetlands at the Haskell Medicine Wheel south of Lawrence, Kansas. Haskell WPO is a Native student organization, and Save the Wakarusa Wetlands is an association of Lawrence-based Haskell Indian Nations University alumni, students, and community supporters. The ceremony will be led by Patrick Freeland, president of WPO, and it's open to all who wish to add their prayers to save this sacred place from the highway builders. For information, contact Michael Caron at 785-842-6293. At the Little Bighorn Horse Ride, prayers for our sacred places in Montana on Sunday, June 21st. The Little Bighorn Horse Ride started on June 17th, and it goes to the 25th. It commemorates the Battle of Little Bighorn, or amongst the Dakota people, the Battle of the Greasy Grass of June 25th, 1876. The ride started in Ashland, Montana with prayers and honoring songs on June 17th, and it'll end at the Little Bighorn Battlefield National Monument on June 25th. The Little Bighorn Horse Riders will have prayers for all sacred sites on Sunday, June 21st. Also in New Mexico for Mount Taylor. Mount Taylor is sacred to the Pueblos and tribes throughout the Southwest. The Acoma, Laguna, and Zuni Pueblos, the Hopi tribe and the Navajo Nation, are actively seeking protections for Mount Taylor. They're concerned that the renewed uranium rush in the area will threaten the sacred mountain. For additional information, again, you're encouraged to contact those offices and people from those tribes we named earlier. At the Ganundagan, New York State Historic Site, Monday, June 22nd, in New York, there will be a Thanksgiving starting at 11:45 a.m. and ending at midday on June 22nd to protect sacred places and to promote world peace. We invite spiritual leaders and the general public to join us on this day as we offer words of thanksgiving, or Gonoyal, in the Seneca language, says G. Peter Jameson Seneca, who is the caretaker of this site. For more information on that activity, you can get a hold of Peter Jameson at 585-924-5848. And also ceremonies in New York at Willow Bay on Onondaga Lake on Tuesday, June 23rd from 1 until 2 p.m. The Onondaga Nation invites all to honor the lake with a peaceful gathering at Willow Bay on Onondaga Lake on the 23rd from 1 until 2. For more information, contact the Onondaga Nation Communications Department at 315-492-1922. Also in Oklahoma, Hickory Ground Ceremonial Grounds, traditional religious leaders of the Hickory Ground Ceremonial Grounds are continuing their work to protect their pre-removal grounds near Wetumpka, Alabama, and dozens of human remains which have been disinterred there without their consent. Summertime requires their close attention to be focused on the annual ceremonies to close the old year and start the new. You can contact someone at, you can contact information at www.itslt.org. And also in Oklahoma at Bristow on Sunday, June 21st, prayer service and ceremonies at 2 p.m. The Tulsa Indian Coalition Against Racism invites all to participate in the 2008 National Day of Prayer to protect Native sacred sites on Sunday, June 21st, starting at 2 p.m. at the Watashe Family Native American Church site in Bristow, Oklahoma. That is at 27151 West 141st Street in South Bristow, Oklahoma, or you can contact Cindy Martin at 918-633-3381 for more information. And in Washington, D.C., in the U.S. Capitol at the West Front grassy area on June 22nd, Monday at 8:45 a.m., the observance in Washington, D.C. will take place there. The public is invited to attend this respectful observance to honor sacred places and sacred beings and all those who care for them and protect them from harm. The observance will take the form of a talking circle, and all are welcome. This observance is organized by the Morning Star Institute at 202-547-5531, or contact Sue Ann Ware-Diaz, the Assistant General Secretary for the General Commission on Religion and Race for the United Methodist Church. That phone number is 202-547-2271. And lastly, at Snoqualmie Falls in Washington. That's going to be another observance that's occurring now as we do our press read here. The spirit of Snoqualmie Falls was honored on the National Day of Prayer for protection of Native sites on Friday, June 19th. The tribe has been engaged in a long-standing struggle regarding the federal Energy Regulatory Commission license to Puget Sound Energy for Hydroelectric Project 2493. So this read comes around every 10 minutes. You can pick up on some of those phone numbers as it comes around again. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country from the porch on the Lakudere Reservation at the Trading Post.